Hello and welcome to another episode of Health for Life. My name is Dianabedoya, and today I'm going to be covering just some basic nutrition knowledge, like what you need to know, the basics, including how to read a nutrition label. But before I actually get to the nutrition label, I just want to make a plea for you guys to eat more real foods that don't have a nutrition label, that like came from the ground, grown by farmers, tended to by farmers, preferably local. We eat too much highly processed crap, and that's contributing to disease and promoting ill health, and we just eat real food, all right? And eat a nice variety of foods as well. No single food gives you everything you need, so try to mix it up as much as possible. So that being said, here is my fancy nutrition label. If you want to go to your kitchen and grab one so you can follow along, that is advisable because you probably can't read this very well. Okay, so when I look at the nutrition label, actually the first thing I look at is absent from this, which is the ingredients list. Check out the first 3 ingredients. Those are what there is in the highest amount in that product. So if the first 3 ingredients are something like glucose or fructose or sugar or corn syrup or high fructose corn syrup, those are all fancy names for sugar. We get way too much sugar. We don't need any more. So your first 3 ingredients should definitely not be sugar. Also make sure that you're choosing whole grain products. And just because a label might say, 100% whole wheat on it, doesn't necessarily mean that the product is made entirely from whole grains. I know it doesn't really make sense, but it's true. So make sure that you check the label, that if it does say whole grain on it, you want to see whole wheat or whole grain or whole oats or whole rye or something like that. Look for the word whole. Okay, so that's the ingredients list. That's where I look first. And then just going down here to find out what you should look at. Calories. We overdo calories, so try to not overdo it. Average female, totally depends, but average female, let's say needs about 2,000 calories a day. Men need about 2,500 calories a day. So for me, I like to do most snacks between about 100 to 200 calories, and meals about 300 to 600 calories. That usually works for me. I overdo it though, as you will as well. So if you overdo it with one meal, try to decrease it at the next or the next day. Fat, try to keep it low, but you do need some fat, definitely, but the type of fat does matter. You want to be getting more unsaturated fats, and as close to 0 of these guys as possible, saturated and trans. If you do eat animal products, it's pretty hard to get rid of saturated fats, but try to keep it as low as possible. Contributes to heart disease, not a good thing. Trans fats, you don't need them, they're not good for you. Try to keep it at 0. But just because a product says trans fat free, don't think it's good for you just because it's trans fat free. Okay, that's a good thing, but it doesn't make the whole product healthy, so watch for that. Cholesterol, try to keep it as close to 0 as possible. You don't need it. Yeah, try to keep it as close to 0 as possible. Sodium, again, we tend to way overdo that in Canada and North America. Look at the percent daily value for sodium, and if it says like 90% or 80%, that means that that product has about 80% of the sodium you need for the day. Okay, not a good thing. If a product has over 500 milligrams of sodium, just like even lower than that, but just don't eat it. As much as you can avoid it, try to avoid it, because we eat so many processed foods that contribute to high sodium intake. Carbohydrates, they are good for you, okay, but the type of carbohydrate matters. Fiber is fantastic. Fiber helps reduce your risk for diabetes. It helps lowers your blood cholesterol. It helps clean out your intestines. And for me, fiber makes me full. That's why I love it. So try to get a decent amount of fiber. Sugars, what do you think? What do you think with sugars? Yeah, you know. Keep it as close to 0 as possible. You don't need added sugars, extra sugars, simple sugars in your diet. As close to 0 as possible. Go for that. Protein's good because it helps you rebuild tissue. Some of us overdo protein. You want to get about 6 to 8 grams per 100 calorie serving. But if you do overdo it, which some people do because it's filling and because it does help build lean tissue, Just make sure that you're getting other vitamins and minerals and nutrients as well. People that do go on high protein diets sometimes avoid fruits and vegetables, and that's just ridiculous. Okay, so make sure you're still getting enough of those. And vitamins and minerals, the ones we need the most of, or the ones we lack sometimes in our diet, vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, and iron. Again, they're in percent daily value, so you can look at that to find out how much that product contributes to your daily needs. Okay, so this says 2, 10%, 0, and 2%. So it doesn't really have much of anything in it. So eat products with a decent amount of vitamins and minerals. All of that I just went through is for one serving. If you have 2 servings, so in this case, one serving is 125 milliliters, about half a cup. If you drink twice that, a cup, you're going to get twice of everything in here. Okay, so read this nutrient facts box, but make sure you're actually eating a serving if that's the amount of everything that you want to get. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say about that. Check out calories, try to keep your saturated and trans fats close to 0 as possible. Sodium, keep it low. Fiber, we like it. Sugars, close to 0 as possible. And yeah, just get nutrient dense foods that have a lot of everything in them, and eat real foods, guys. Please, 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 that would be awesome. That is your health fact for the day. Here's to your health. Take care. Bye-bye.